You will not believe what they did to Call of Duty Zombies. It's been 10 years since I really played this game. My prime was on the map Buried. I lived on that map. I played it non-stop. I mastered its rhythm, the thrill of the bank, the absolute power of the paralyzer. Every game was a puzzle, a challenge. You started with literally nothing, and if you were good enough, you became a master. You went from zero to hero in every single match. So when I booted up Black Ops 7, I thought I was coming home. I was expecting that same insane tension, that same strategy, but with brand new graphics. And I could not have been more wrong. Instead, I walked right into pure chaos. My very first match was on this new map called Ashes of the Damned, and listen, it's huge. It looks incredible, but in minutes, I was just completely overwhelmed, not by the zombies, but by the sheer noise. My screen was a fireworks show of damage numbers, health bars, and a million pop-ups. It felt less like I was surviving an apocalypse and more like I was just clearing icons on a map. This wasn't the zombies I remembered. This was faster, louder, and honestly, a complete mess. And after spending an entire week playing it, I think I've figured out why. It all comes down to three huge problems. 1, the grind. 2, the chaos. And 3, the fact that it's completely lost its soul. So let's start with the grind, because it's the first thing that smacks you in the face. In classic Zombies, progression was everything. You started with a pistol, and every single point mattered. You had to fight for your life just to get enough points for the next door or a wall buy. That journey to getting Jug or pack-a-punching your gun, that was the game. You earned it. In Black Ops 7, that journey is completely gone. You drop in with a custom loadout, a fully kitted weapon with 5 attachments that you already spent hours grinding for in multiplayer. The entire zero to hero experience has vanished. Instead of a desperate fight to survive, the first few rounds are just a boring power fantasy. The game tries to replace this with a new grind, weapon rarity. So now you're just running around picking up scrap to upgrade the color of your gun. This system is supposed to add depth, but in reality, it just feels like busy work. The strategy isn't about grinding the best path anymore. It's about who can pick up the most junk. The desperate scramble for points is gone, replaced by a monotonous loot cycle ripped straight out of Warzone. This leads to the second major issue, the chaos. The developers seem to think that more is always better. More zombies, more stuff on your screen, more speed. The new map, Astra Malorum, is set in an observatory orbiting Saturn, which sounds awesome, but the experience is defined by Oscar, a new boss who is there from the very start of the game, constantly patrolling. He's not a climactic fight you build towards, he's just there. He's a constant, annoying obstacle you have to work around. And the on-screen clutter is just relentless. On a map like Buried, the screen was clean. You had your points, your perks, and your ammo. That was it. You learned the map by exploring in it, by dying in it. In Black Ops 7, the game just holds your hands so tight it cuts off your circulation. There are objective markers for everything. Giant health bars over special enemies, and a constant stream of notifications. I don't feel like I'm discovering a map full of secrets. I feel like I'm following a GPS to my next checklist item. And that brings me to the biggest problem. The one that actually breaks my heart as a fan. Black Ops 7 Zombies, it just has no soul. Think back to the classic crews. Remember Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio? Their banter was the heart of the experience. They had amazing personalities. But who do we play as in Black Ops 7, you may ask? The same generic, silent multiplayer operators from the rest of the game. They're just faceless soldiers with zero connection to what's happening. Sure, there's the operators that you always have. You have Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, Takio, the new operators from the new storyline, but I'll be honest, it just feels empty. Gone are the days where they're there for a reason. You can play as anyone you want in these maps. This is the clearest in the main Easter egg quest. After a dozen steps, you finally get to the big finale, the boss fight against Caltheris. But the fight itself is a perfect example of everything wrong with this game. Sure, it's fun, but it's just a 4-phase bullet sponge marathon, where you just unload clip after clip into glowing weak spots while dodging lasers. It's not a test of skill, it's chaotic. Hour-long endurance tests. That is more exhausting than it is rewarding. You're not outsmarting the horde, you're just running from the clutter. The mystery is gone, the personality is gone, the horror is gone, and what's left is an empty horde mode. Now this feeling is clearest in the new modes from Season 2. They feel like they're supposed to be throwbacks, but they completely miss what made the classics work. Take Cursed Survival. It brings back the old point system, and you start with just a pistol, which sounds exactly like the classics experience I wanted. But in practice, it just feels tacked on with no real quest or story. You're just grinding to survive for the sake of surviving. It feels completely aimless. Then there's Starting Room. I know this was a fan favorite mode, but for me, as a veteran of maps like Buried and Transit and Shino, it rips out the most fundamental part of zombies, exploring the map. Being trapped in one tiny area, no matter how intense it gets, just feels suffocating. So after all that, is Black Ops 7 Zombies a bad game? Yes and no. It's a mess. A chaotic, grindy, and soulless mess that has traded its identity for a Warzone-ified action feel. But I can't help putting hours into it. There's something addictive about the sheer chaos. The gunplay is tight, the movement is fluid, and mowing down a massive horde with fully pack-a-punched wonder weapons still provides the hit of dopamine that's hard to ignore. The game I fell in love with a decade ago has been torn down, but I find myself sifting through the rubble of this flashy, sterile arcade day-to-day, looking for scraps of the game that once was. Maybe I'm just an old school player who can't adapt, or maybe Zombies really has lost its way. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. What was your first Zombies map, and what do you think of the direction the series has taken? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know down below.